Boker Tov, Yom Tov, Zoharim Tovim, and Laila Tov, no matter where you are at. This is Carrie. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. I am going to share from the heart today, and it is going to be on a question that one of our family from the stand had asked, and I thought it was a good question, and I thought it was probably a good idea to share my response as a way of just bringing this point forward for those of you who may not see the comments. So the question was, from the point of authenticity, can I feel at peace about feeling my anger and voicing it? Sometimes discerning and judgments can be confusing. And this is what I shared. Judging is only done on ourselves. If we are judging externally, there is something that is occurring where you are projecting it outwardly so that you can see what is going on in the inside of you. I would stop and ask yourself through the Spirit, why am I angry? What is the catalyst? Usually by identifying that issue, it can then be traced back to some sort of fear. Because really, in the system of duality, fear and the opposite of that is love. Love is the absence of fear. Fear is the absence of love. So once you can trace it back down to whatever camp it is from, if it is from fear, then you can reconcile it as being part of your beast ego that is wanting attention of some sort, as that really is the root of fear. So this could be a fear of loss of some sort, whatever that could be. Take a look at what we saw in 2020, the fear of loss of income, fear of loss of mobility, the fear of being cramped and confined and not being able to socialize. I mean, you can go on and on and on and on, being able to trace it back, and it generally is all fear. So fear is an illusion that stems from the illusion of separation, which is the veil of forgetting, which is the lowered and dimmed consciousness that then had the attachment of ego connected for experience. When you come to this and you come to terms with it and it becomes an epiphany, da'at would be the Hebrew word for this, for intimate knowledge that you have connected to. And in the Greek, it would be gnosis. When you know that we are one and that we are eternal, as death is also an illusion, then you really do not need to fear or need to get angry. Our emotions are just an element, a barometer for us to determine our inside condition that we project outwardly as a distortion from homeostasis, the balance of the spirit that is within, which then could be called shalom or 0 point, potential energy that has been rendered clear, which is the narrow path that few find. It is a tool. When you find center balance, then you see that nothing is being done to you, but rather for your experience and growth, that then assists in wisdom, maturation, and ascension. I did also suggest a link of a video that I produced a little while back that was dealing with different forms of judgment and what that looked like. And I will make sure that I put that on the end of this as a video link that you can connect to and watch it if you'd like more information. I'm going to use a personal experience thing that just happened, as a matter of fact, yesterday morning to bring this a little bit closer to home. Ken was sharing some awesome revelation that he always does, and it blows me away, but it had been going on 4 hours. And now for me, that would be more like 4 cows that I ate. That's a lot of meat. And I got very overwhelmed at the end of it and got a little emotional and got out of my center balance. I was moved out of my shalom. And, the discussion ensued afterwards, and there was a little bit of frustration and maybe few little tears on my part. And it was one of those things like, well, you just need to be more sensitive in not presenting so much information all at once. And it was a projection outwardly of me making a request. Now, some people would probably look at that and go, well, that's okay. I mean, you have a right to be able to request those things. But I got processing it because this is what I do now. I take all of my emotions, I draw them back into myself, and I ask myself questions. Why did this happen? Why did it occur? And it's so that I can take personal responsibility for that which happens to me. Because really, everything outside of us or of you is really of no consequence. It has to do with you, which then has to do with us. Existentially, it's pretty deep when you begin to look at it. But what I realized was that I was projecting something outwardly because I was really frustrated that I didn't recognize, or when I did recognize that I was getting overwhelmed, I didn't use boundaries to say, hey, can we stop here and maybe get back to this to tomorrow or later today so I can have a break? I was projecting it all upon Ken, like he was the one to do the monitoring for me. So I was projecting that outwardly so that I actually could look at it and see, oh, wait a minute here. No, that boundary that I just asked is a boundary that I need to recognize within so that it sets me free and sets Ken free without controlling and manipulating on either side to make someone do something that you want to for your convenience. So it's nice when you can identify it because it allows you to write yourself back into the homeostasis place where you're in 0 point, where you have rendered everything clear, you find the middle path, and you find your shalom and not getting entangled with anyone or anything that would stretch your emotions. Because really our point is to live in that Christ anointing, that Mashiach anointing, where it is the peace that goes beyond all understanding. So I hope that helps. I know there's a lot that people are projecting right now, and they're frustrated and angry with many things that are in the outside world. But if you can find and pick up this tool, I can promise you through my experience, it'll make life a whole lot easier for you, where you can extract the wisdom out of it and be able to see yourself more clearly, setting yourself free and everyone else that is around you. Shalom, shalom, and namaste.